Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. 30th January is observed as Anti-Leprosy Day across the country to spread public awareness about the disease. Although the world marks the day on the last Sunday of January every year, in India the day is observed on 30th January to commemorate the death of Mahatma Gandhi, who was assassinated on this day in 1948. This day was chosen by French humanitarian Raoul Falero as a tribute to the life of the Mahatma, who worked effortlessly to help those who were affected with leprosy. This year's theme for Anti-Leprosy Day is Ending Discrimination, Stigma and Prejudice. The global event also focuses on the target of 0 cases of leprosy-related disabilities in children. India officially declared that leprosy is no longer a public health threat back in 2005. But latest estimates by the World Health Organization suggest that the country still accounts for 60% of new cases of leprosy detected worldwide. Today's In-Depth talks about why leprosy remains a major concern for India and the steps taken by the government to eliminate the disease. We'll also look at the global leprosy scenario and the efforts being undertaken by WHO to enable a leprosy-free world. Leprosy is also called the Hansen disease. It is caused by the bacteria Mycobacterium leprae and is highly contagious. Now, this chronic disease can be passed on from one person to another or even by breathing airborne droplets from the affected individuals. Even cough and sneezes or coming into contact with the affected individual, nasal fluids could lead to leprosy. What's worse is that the infection can be contracted at any age. However, leprosy is curable with multi-drug therapy or MDT, and treatment in the early stages can prevent disability. In this report, let's take a look at the trends of the disease in India. Every year, around 2 lakh new leprosy cases are detected around the world. According to the World Health Organization, India accounts for more than half of leprosy cases detected worldwide. In the year 2017, India accounted for 60% of new cases detected in the year, 1.26 lakh out of 2.10 lakh. As of March 2018, Bihar had 14,338 cases of leprosy, followed by Uttar Pradesh with 12,583 cases. Maharashtra reported 9,836 cases of leprosy, followed by West Bengal with 9,175 cases. 6,499 cases were reported in the state of Chhattisgarh. In terms of prevalence, the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli topped the count with its 202 cases as of March 2018, representing 4.85 cases per 1 lakh population. Among the states, Chhattisgarh had the highest prevalence, 2.25 per lakh population, followed by Odisha with 1.38, Bihar with 1.18, Jharkhand with 1.05 and West Bengal with 0.92. As per a recent report by the National Leprosy Elimination Program, of the total new cases detected in India, almost 50% were multi-bacillary leprosy, while children account for about 8.7% of the leprosy cases detected. The proportion of child cases is more than 10% of new cases detected in 11 states and union territories. Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Bihar, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh showed very high rates ranging from 14% to 23%.
The global burden of leprosy is approximately 2,70,000 new cases every year, and India accounts for almost 60% of this burden. So in India we have around 1,25,000 or 1,30,000 new cases being detected every year.
The National Leprosy Eradication Program, which is the centrally sponsored health scheme of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, finds that factors such as lack of awareness, fear, stigma and discrimination are the most powerful barriers in eradicating the disease. In its recent evaluation, the NLEP acknowledged that the detection capacity is not matching the level and intensity of disease occurrence. The theme for Anti-Leprosy Day this year is ending discrimination, stigma and prejudice. A majority of those affected by leprosy are believed to experience some form of stigma and discrimination, and up to half of them are believed to face mental health issues like depression or anxiety.
Very often leprosy affected persons move from place to place. There is a problem of migration, but the government, and recently the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is taking steps to create a web-based information system, so that even if a person who is detected of leprosy moves from his hometown to another place, he or she can continue with the treatment wherever he is residing at that moment of time.
Notably, in recent years, India has taken significant steps to tackle this situation. In 2016, the draconian colonial-era Lepers Act was repealed. On 30th January 2017, the Sparsh Leprosy Awareness Campaign was launched to promote awareness and address the issues of stigma and discrimination. The measures included in the campaign, like contact tracing, examination, treatment, and chemoprophylaxis, are expected to bring down the number of leprosy cases. The special emphasis on women, children, and those with disabilities is expected to flush out more hidden cases. In addition to continuing to administer MDT to patients, new preventive approaches such as chemoprophylaxis and immunoprophylaxis are being considered to break the chain of transmission and reach zero disease status. Further, on 7th January 2019, the Lok Sabha passed a bill seeking to remove leprosy as a ground for divorce. In commemoration of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi that comes up on 2nd October 2019, the NLEP has formulated a comprehensive plan for the year. It hopes to reduce the Grade 2 disability to less than 1 case per million people by October 2019.
The government's program of medical outreach, of early detection and early treatment is a very good program. It has been recognized all world over as being a very focused and well designed program. However, the medical side is not enough, and we need to look at the social and economic aspects, but even more than the social and economic aspects, we need to look at social attitudes, because only if we are able to remove the stigma that is associated with leprosy, we will also find a better compliance with the medical side. We'll find that the government's own medical program is more successful if the people are aware that if it is treated in time, then leprosy is just like any other disease.
By observing Anti-Leprosy Day this year, the aim is to raise awareness about the disease, to offer help to those affected by the disease through regular and free of cost treatment they need, to make the diseased person psychologically strong and help them to cope with physical impairments of skin sores and nerve damage, to ascertain that all affected persons are getting the necessary treatment, rehabilitation and care, and also to estimate the marked decrease or increase in the rate of spread of the disease. With inputs from Bharat Singh Divakar, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. World Leprosy Day is the day for international leprosy awareness. There have been a rise in number of new cases across the world. More than 2 lakh new cases were diagnosed in 2016, and over 16 million leprosy patients have been treated over the past 20 years across the globe. In order to eliminate the disease, the people in charge need to see that leprosy is an important area of concern for many around the world and must be eliminated soon.
The last Sunday of January is observed as World Leprosy Day every year. For over 60 years, people around the globe observe World Leprosy Day by remembering and praying for those living with the terrible disease. The day aims to spread awareness about leprosy and the impact of discrimination and social stigma attached to the disease. This year's theme focuses on ending discrimination, stigma, and prejudice. The countries with the highest number of new leprosy cases are India, Brazil, and Indonesia, followed by some African nations. More than half of all new cases of leprosy are diagnosed in India, which remains home to a third of the world's poor. In 2017, there were 14 countries reporting more than 1,000 new cases of leprosy. These are Bangladesh, Brazil, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Madagascar, Mozambique, Myanmar, Nepal, Nigeria, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and Tanzania. In 2016, the World Health Organization launched the Global Leprosy Strategy 2016-2020, accelerating towards a leprosy-free world. Its aim is to reinvigorate efforts to control leprosy and avert disabilities, especially among children still affected by the disease in endemic countries. The strategy also calls for renewed political commitment, enhanced coordination between partners, inclusion of persons affected by leprosy in program management, and highlights the importance of research and improved data collection and analysis. According to official reports received from 138 countries from all WHO regions, the global registered prevalence of leprosy at the end of 2015 was 176,176 cases. While in 2014 the number of new cases reported was 213,899, and in 2013 the number of new cases reported was 215,656. The number of new cases indicates the degree of continued transmission of the infection. However, more than 2 lakh new cases were diagnosed in 2016 and over 16 million leprosy patients have been treated over the past 20 years across the globe. The age-old stigma associated with the disease remains an obstacle to self-reporting and early treatment. The image of leprosy must be changed at the global, national, and local levels. A new environment in which patients will not hesitate to come forward for diagnosis and treatment at any health facility must be created, ensuring no discrimination and promoting inclusion. With inputs from Bharat Singh Divakar, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Leprosy has been afflicting humans since time immemorial. The earliest recorded cases dating back to 600 BC. But centuries later, the stigma and discrimination associated with the disease continues. This despite the fact that the disease is fully curable with easily available medication. Here's a look at the symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment of leprosy. Leprosy is one of the oldest diseases in recorded history, afflicting humanity since time immemorial. Written accounts of leprosy date as far back as 600 BC and was well recognized in the oldest civilizations of China, Egypt, and India thousands of years ago. Genetic evidence supports the existence of leprosy infections in 100,000-year-old remains. It's a disease that leaves a terrifying image in its wake of mutilation, rejection, and exclusion from society. Also known as Hansen disease, leprosy is a chronic, progressive bacterial infection. It is caused by a bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae, which is an acid-fast, rod-shaped bacillus. The disease mainly affects the skin, peripheral nerves, upper respiratory tract, and lining of the nose. It is a contagious disease passed on from one person to another, or even by breathing airborne droplets from the affected individuals. The infection can be contracted at any age.
Leprosy is like any other disease. It is caused by a germ, a bacteria. It has very effective treatment. It can be completely cured, and it is today considered as one of the least infectious disease. So mainly it is transmitted through the air, through a droplet infection, but large majority of people nearly 99% of the people have a natural immunity against leprosy. Therefore, the chances of getting leprosy are very remote.
Clinical signs of leprosy are easy to observe and diagnose. However, the treatment is often delayed due to the stigma associated with it. The typical symptoms include skin lesions, numbness in hands, arms, and legs, ulcers on the soles of the feet, muscle weakness, and excessive weight loss.
There are basically three signs which are indicative of leprosy. Number one, pale or red patches on the skin, and over the patches there will be loss of sensation of touch, pain, temperature. Number two, localized or generalized thickening or infiltration of the skin. And number three, localized or generalized nodules in the skin, small elevations in the skin.
It usually takes about 3 to 5 years for symptoms to appear after coming into contact with the leprosy-causing bacteria. The long incubation period makes it difficult for doctors to determine when and where a person got infected. Leprosy is classified on the basis of types of skin sores. Tuberculoid leprosy is a mild, less severe form of leprosy. Patients suffering from this type have only one or a few patches of flat, pale-colored skin which may feel numb due to nerve damage underneath. Tuberculoid leprosy is less contagious than the other forms. Lepromatous leprosy is a more severe form of the disease. Patients with this type of leprosy have widespread skin bumps and rashes, numbness, and muscle weakness. It may affect the nose, kidneys, and male reproductive organs. It is more contagious than tuberculoid leprosy. People with borderline leprosy have symptoms of both the tuberculoid and lepromatous forms. Leprosy is also classified on the basis of skin smear results. Patients showing negative smears at all sites are said to have paucibacillary leprosy, while those showing positive smears at any site are said to have multibacillary leprosy. If not treated on time, leprosy can lead to significant disability, disfigurement, permanent nerve damage in the arms and legs, and even loss of sensation in the body. However, leprosy is curable with the combination of drugs known as multi-drug therapy or MDT. MDT was first recommended by a WHO expert committee in 1984. It rapidly became the standard treatment of leprosy and has been supplied by WHO free of charge to all endemic countries since 1995. The combination of drugs used in the MDT depends on the classification of the disease. Combinations of rifampicin, clofazimine, and dapsone are used to treat different forms of leprosy.
Basically, every attempt should be made once the treatment is started that the person completes the treatment within 6 months for non-infectious type or 12 months for infectious type. But sometimes due to various causes there may be interruption of treatment. Normally this is not a problem. If you find the person again or the person comes back after an interrupted treatment, you can restart the treatment and complete it.
Leprosy patients often suffer from mental illness like depression and anxiety due to the discrimination and stigma that they are subjected to by the society, making it more difficult to cure the disease.
It is clear that while medical treatment is a very important part of the leprosy elimination, the reintegration, rehabilitation of leprosy affected people is critically important because of the strong stigma in our society, persons affected by leprosy have nowhere to go. They are pushed to the margins of society. They live in excluded and secluded areas and are not accepted. So something needs to be done on the social and economic rehabilitation of leprosy affected people.
Therefore, World Leprosy Day aims to spread awareness about the impact of discrimination and social stigma on the efforts to stop the spread of the disease. With inputs from Bharat Singh Divakar, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. So that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on some other subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback as well as suggestions. Thank you so much for your time.